Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm still towing with my 2005 Chevy Silverado 1500 with the 5.3 liter Vortec V8, putting out 295 horsepower and 330-ish pound-feet of torque, and paired to a 4L80E or 60E transmission. I am towing my Toro Z Master 4000 series zero turn and a New Holland Boomer 24. I'm estimating this is about 6,000-ish pounds with the 3,300 pound trailer. So the Chevy is working today, and the more I tow with this, the more I am amazed at how towing technology and just truck chassis technology has improved over the decades. Really, namely, when all of these trucks did their upgrades, Ram in 2009, Ford in 2009 as well, but really didn't get good until the Coyote V8 was implemented, and then Chevy in 2014. Really, these trucks were all the 1500 series or class was really lacking up until that point. And I am reminded of that every time I drive this truck. The chassis is so flimsy and I want to say flamboyant, because it is just bouncing everywhere. You can feel the chassis move. The suspension setup here is not, great. And this was really one of the heavier towing models of the Silverado lineup back in 2005. You had besides the 6.0 Vortec, which was a heavier duty application, but that was in the max tow package and in a specific trim. You really had the 5.3 with the single cab long bed that was going to be your heaviest payload and heaviest towing capacity truck out of all of the Silverados. And this is amazing to me because my parents' Tow and Go Durango, which with a tow rating of 8,700 pounds, feels more put together and capable than this truck does. And I'm not ripping on the truck. I mean, I sort of am ripping on the truck, but I am just amazed at, a simple load such as a 6,000 pound trailer and equipment behind me is just really making the engine work for its money. And I'm just amazed at that. So when these companies redesigned their vehicles, and especially with Ram back in 2009, updating the Hemi and putting out 395 horsepower, that must have been absolutely insane for towing and towing capacities. So, we are relegated to this truck essentially, and it is doing a fine job, but this is not confidence inspiring. Let me tell you that. It is not confidence inspiring at all. I have all my safety precautions on. One thing that would make this better is if this truck had some sort of trailer brake control, but it does not. So I am just stuck to which I can't believe it, but they are drum brakes in the rear, which are awful, and rotors in the front. So the front brakes are getting a lot of wear here. But other than that, it's a comfortable truck. It is more comfortable when it is loaded down, because you're dealing with a long box truck, and it's really pretty compliant on these slower trips that I need to do with it. But there is absolutely no way that I would feel comfortable driving this truck on an interstate or any sort of fast conditions, because there's just not enough stopping power. That's ultimately what it comes down to. the stopping power of this truck is awful, and it feels like I am driving my 1967 Chrysler 300. You know, the stopping power is just not there, and that's this truck. You know, with drum brakes in the back, what can you expect? So we are almost to our destination. We are trying to get up to speed. One thing, you know, that really helps trucks as well is transmissions. And now most modern trucks have 8 to 10 speeds, which are wonderful. Even I think if you go 6 and above, you're dealing with a good transmission. The 1 to 2 shift here, you ultimately lose all of your power. You have your torque, but you don't have your power. So, you know, when you're moving at 30 to 60 and you go from that 1 to 2 shift, you really slow down. First gear is where all the power is at in this truck in first gear, and then once you move into second gear, you basically lost all of your power, and you do have your torque to get you moving, but you have no power because you drop from 5,500 RPMs all the way down to like 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs, maybe 3,500. So you're not dealing with that peak power, but it is good enough to get everything going. Although I don't know if I would, and I have before, but I don't think I would want to tow really anything over 6,000 pounds, because you don't have the power, for one. For two, you don't have the stopping power. And for three, the chassis just moves around so much. The steering is super loose. You know, it's really not, you know, a compliant ride for sure. I mean, in today's world, you're dealing with trucks, you know, mid-sized trucks, even small trucks. Granted, they have four cylinders, but you're dealing with small, you know, Ford Mavericks that almost have the power of this truck, and some of them do. So it's quite amazing how far towing technology has come with trucks, and how these companies are still, you know, improving tech and making chassis more rigid. Like this one, I'm going on bad northern Wisconsin roads. My truck is just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. I mean, it really feels like the back end is going to split from the front end. So it's definitely not super capable with its towing power, but it you know, doesn't instill confidence. We're just gonna put it at that. But otherwise, it's a good driver, and honestly, guys, for the price I paid for it, I'll gladly tow with this where I need to go, especially when I don't have a truck right now. The fuel economy, surprisingly, with this 5.3 Vortec is about the same as what I'd be getting with my Ram truck, a 2023 model. So that is very interesting there. And otherwise, you know, I just, oh, here we go, big hill, gotta shift up to first gear. Oh, giving her all she's got. Oh man, woo, whew. It's a worker. But yeah, gas mileage is roughly the same as what I'm getting in my 2023 Ram truck, so I can't really fault it there. It's definitely a good truck for that. But yeah, otherwise, this is it. You know, it's not impressive. You really hate to put the pedal down because the motor is working so hard, and it's doing everything it can to tow this load. And this is just something that a general contractor would take to his or her job site. But we're getting the job done, and it's okay. So we're gonna leave it at that. Like and subscribe for more Chevy content, more towing content, more equipment content, and more car reviews. So with that being said, guys, we will see you in the next one. Take care.